Justin, our next speaker brings to mind a phrase that I like to use in looking over your shoulder. All of us are fortunate in this room. I particularly am fortunate in many, many ways. And with that fortune comes a responsibility to look over your shoulder and really help those who are coming up behind you or who need a hand reaching your hand out to them. And I think that's what Coke does. Everyone knows Coke, global strength, global brand, global reach, but they're going beyond that now and thinking about the well-being of communities. And so we're very, very happy to have Derk Hendriksen here. He's the Vice President of Business Integration and General Manager for EKOCENTER at Coca-Cola.
So how do you recognize the corporate guy aside of wearing a suit? The business, no, we the people. The business of joy. I think the business of good. All right, here's ours. We exist to refresh the world, provide moments of happiness and optimism, create value, and make a difference. Short mission statements, long mission statements, right? It's hard to really know what you stand for as an organization if you've been around for 130 years, and I admire those short mission statements, provide clarity. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about my personal journey, my professional journey, and I think it's fair to say our organization's journey into spaces unknown. And as Mel said, I look after business integration of our sustainability commitments at Coca-Cola. What that means is, we have a lot of commitments in water, in women empowerment, in well-being and environment, etc. And I work with our operating teams to make sure that it all gets integrated in the way we build a sustainable business going forward. But my personal journey is about the second part of my job description, and that is EcoCenter. Most people call it a project. I call it a journey, because that is really what it is. I'm going to show you a quick video that gives you an idea of where we've been and where we're going, and I'll talk a little bit more about what we're trying to do, and hopefully have an open invitation for all of you to join.
The EKOCENTER will become the centers of small communities that lack power, that lack clean drinking water, and that lack the ability for people to be connected.
EcoCenter is a modular kiosk that provides essential goods and services to communities in need. But it's more. As a model social enterprise, it captures the best of business and philanthropy to help communities grow and develop. EcoCenter is solar powered. It's run by a local woman entrepreneur. EcoCenter can provide power and light, basic goods, safe water, connectivity, education and health, and entertainment. Taken together, these utilities, goods, and services act as a catalyst to help communities grow and develop. In 2014, we placed 25 EcoCenters in 7 countries, and in 2015, we're adding 150 more. But this is just the start. Working together with NGOs, governments, and other private sector parties, we are combining our expertise for greater impact.
There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come, and we believe the time for EKOCENTER is now.
EcoCenter, a catalyst for community growth.
So, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. So what's different? Imagine an organization that's been around for almost 130 years and has run its business basically what I would call on 2 extremes, right? You had your core business, as we call it, providing the world with great refreshment, profitable business, obviously. And the other extreme, we have our charitable and philanthropic efforts through the Coca-Cola Foundation and what have you. I called it the black and white operating model, and it's worked very well for us for more than 100 years. But if you think about the 21st century, the century that we're in and that many of you grew up in largely, the world has changed. There is a need to develop a different business model that takes what's great about business and that takes what's needed in society and builds something out of that that makes sense for both. And that's what me and my team are trying to create, and that's why I call it a journey, because I don't know what I don't know. You probably collectively know more than I do about this space. What I do know is that for an organization like ours, it is essential to move in this space and make sure that we create healthy communities and healthy societies, because only with those can we build a healthy business going forward. So that's the journey that we're on, and we're just getting started. And EcoCenter is just the first manifestation of that. There's more than we do, but I thought the EcoCenter project was interesting to share. So what does EcoCenter do? It basically is a project that enables us to do good by doing good business. And I just wanted to spend a little bit of time on those two aspects, society and business. Starting with society, I just told you about our sustainability commitments in water, women, well-being, environment, etc. So EcoCenter provides us with an opportunity to bring all of that to communities in need. Think of remote communities in Africa and other parts of the world where right now nobody is going, not even us. We go far, but we don't go there. So providing those communities with basic necessities like water, power, connectivity, education, healthcare, phone charging, heating, cooling, products, essential goods, you name it, is critical. And we can do that through an attitude of what I would call servant leadership. We can play a role in that. At the same time, we wouldn't do that as an organization if there wouldn't be some vested self-interest. Of course, it is important for us to build trust with people that we work with and communities that we're part of, to continue to have a license to operate, as well as talk to new generations of consumers that over time are growing from rural Africa or rural Latin America into the emerging business middle class, which obviously is important for businesses like ours. So there is a shared value or a social business concept. I call it social enterprise. I just like the word better. I believe actually that they're all the same. What we're trying to do is start small and scale fast. So we started last year, 2 years ago actually, in 2013 and 2013, with 2 EcoCenters in South Africa, and they were big, huge containers that cost a lot of money, were hard to manipulate, and hard to get to where they needed to be. And right now we're working with a small German social enterprise called Solar Kiosk, and it's more like an IKEA model, right? So it comes in a flat box, it's pre-manufactured, you go to where it needs to go and you build it up. So that's part of the technical journey that we have gone through, and the partnership journey. We're also going to scale it faster. So we're going to move into the same countries as where we started last year and put more units in place. Why do we do that? Why do we not go to all countries, but just to a few? Well, because you need scale to make this work. If you want to build a supply chain and you want to justify your overhead, you've got to make sure that you have a certain mass out there that starts to justify your cost base. But then obviously the plan going forward is to scale it in the next couple of decades or so. So this is an example of Tanzania. I want to share with you 2 distinctly different examples of what it looks like. This was an opening in Tanzania, and this basically is the box that has everything in it. So there's a water purification machine in there, there's solar panels on the roof, there's integrated Wi-Fi, there's obviously goods and products and services that the woman entrepreneur who we train will be able to provide her community. And it's like, you know, a one solution fits all. You put it out there and it works really well in certain areas of Africa because it is really remote. And when I was there, the beauty of the story is that you just see the mom, in her case, the woman who was running it had a 5-year-old son, and at opening day, he just came walking, you know, to the EcoCenter when I was talking to his mom with a translator on the side. And I wasn't really struck by the mom and her having her first job. But I was struck by what I saw in the eyes of the 5-year-old boy, who all of a sudden saw a different role model. And, you know, I don't know exactly how a 5-year-old thinks, but although I have one at home, but what he or she really thinks is a little hard to identify. But I think I saw opportunity or hope or something like that in the eyes of that young boy. And if you're an organization like ours, or if you are people like us, we can't just think about today. We got to think about the next 10, 20, 50, 100 years. Heck, the Chinese that built 100-year business plans. So we got to think about where the world is going and skate to where the puck is going as well. So that worked in Africa, and we have a couple of them going. This is different. This is Vietnam. In Vietnam, we partnered with government and NGOs and what have you, and we said, let's not narrowly define it as an EKOCENTER, as a box in which everything needs to happen. But let's think of it as an ecosystem, almost like a community intervention program, where we can bring partners in that do stuff for the community that they need or they want that does not necessarily happen in the box. So here we have a badminton court. We have a Red Cross medical clinic around it, and it's now starting to blossom and it's starting to grow, and it's one storefront, but there's commercial activity and charitable activity or social activity happening at the same time. And that's that hybrid model, as I call it, that we're trying to figure out. How do we bring the charitable work and the commercial world together to build a business model that is more sustainable in the long run, and that is built on some of the principles that many of the millennials here in the room have grown up with, but that an organization like ours does not necessarily have in its 130-year-old DNA. So that's what I wanted to leave you with, which is an invitation. And I think I said it before, I don't know what I don't know. So if there are any brilliant ideas, brilliant projects, or intent or ideas for conversation, please send me an email, send me a tweet, and I'll try to respond as fast as I can. Thank you very much.